The defense is expected to continue cross-examining the state witnesses in the Senzo Meyiwa Murder Trial that's sitting in the High Court in Pretoria today. Yesterday, a new witness, Captain Martin Nailana, telling the court that accused number one, Muzi Sibiya, was willing to take the police to Vosloorus to provide more information about Meyiwa's death. But the defense lawyers maintaining that their clients were assaulted and tortured into agreeing to some things, including confession statements. Nailana has disputed the claims. A trial within a trial continues in a bid to determine the admissibility of the alleged statements. Let's remind you that 5 men are on trial for the soccer star's murder. Let's get an update now, and Linda Mnisi is our reporter on this story. Linda, good morning to you. So, Captain Nailana, Martin Nailana, anything substantially different that he has said or told the court versus what Sergeant Vosloorus Mokhane has already told that court?
Well, you'll remember that Captain Nailana and Sergeant Vosloorus Mokhane are two different witnesses testifying about two different things. So with Captain Nailana, he was essentially testifying about the evidence around accused number one, Muzi Sibiya, and how he was transported from Alberton to Vosloorus to make pointings out. You'll remember that in regards to Muzi Sibiya, the defense is objecting to the admissibility of the pointings out as well as a confession. Now, he was testifying about when the pointing out was done, which is the 5th of June 2020, just 5 days after Sibiya was arrested. And he's telling the court about how they got to Vosloorus. You recall the evidence of Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe, who told the court that they had gone to Vosloorus, to that scene of a pointings out, where they were escorted by EMPD officials. Now, in the car, or the car that was driving Muzi Sibiya together with Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe, he says that he was driving that vehicle and was basically telling the court about the information that he was given by Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe, and it's information that was being relayed by Muzi Sibiya in the form of directions how to get to that particular pointings out scene. You remember the defense's point of contention here is that Muzi Sibiya never gave the police the direction to that pointings out scene. In fact, the entire time when they drove to the pointing out scene, he was face down and really did not say anything until the police arrived at the pointings out scene. But the driver now, Captain Nailana, says that the directions were given by Muzi Sibiya, who started giving those directions from Vosloorus. You remember they were coming from Alberton, and initially, the state alleges that Muzi Sibiya did not know the directions out of Alberton and going to Vosloorus, but told the police that he would only be able to direct them when they get to Vosloorus. So he would then direct them to that particular pointings out. But also this morning the court will also be dealing with the issue around the application that was made yesterday. The state wanting to lead evidence of a tracker when Muzi in fact, Bongani Ntanzi was accused number two. When Bongani Ntanzi went to make that confession statement, you recall that the defense also said that there were diversions. He was taken to different places that include Orlando, Alberton, where he was assaulted, and what the state wants to do in the re-examination there, Toli, is want to lead evidence of the GPS and to clarify with the witness the kind of routes that they took when they were taking Bongani Ntanzi to make that confession statement. The judge has called for both legal representatives to prepare heads of arguments to argue on a point of law around whether or not the state can lead this evidence, because the objection there is that the state wants to introduce new evidence, and the state is saying, well, it is evidence that has already been led. It is the defense that said that there were diversions. They did not go straight to make that confession statement at the Morocco police station. He was taken elsewhere to be assaulted before being forced to sign that confession statement. So this morning the court will start with Sergeant Mokhane, who will come back to the stand and deal particularly with the heads of arguments that the defense would have prepared.
Mnisi, thank you very much for that comprehensive update. Another important case that we are keeping a watchful eye on.